So, what does it really mean to work for the good of society? You hear that phrase all the time, right? It sounds huge, maybe a little abstract, but the truth is it's something we're all part of every single day. So in this explainer, we're going to break down how all the pieces fit together, our individual roles, the systems around us, and the choices we make to build the future we all share. Just think about your commute this morning. You hopped on a bus, walked down a clean sidewalk, maybe grabbed a coffee. It all just works, right? But underneath that simple routine is this massive, invisible, multiplayer game that we're all playing. And the main quest, the biggest question in this entire game, is the one right here. Whose job is it to make all of this actually run? To even start to answer that, we have to kick off with Act 1. We need to get to know the main character in this whole game, the player. And guess what? That player is you. Okay, so in this game, your character profile is basically your citizenship. But hold on, it's way more than just a passport or an ID card. Think of it as a detailed character sheet that defines how you interact with the world around you. It's got your legal status, your identity, your values, and, super importantly, your participation level. First up, let's talk about your legal status. This is kind of like the basic rule book for your character. On one hand, you get these guaranteed perks or rights, things like access to education or protection under the law. But it's not a free ride. You also have obligations, following the rules, paying taxes. It's what you put back into the system to keep it working for everyone. But being a citizen isn't just about the rules. It's also about what's in your heart and your mind. It's that shared sense of identity, that feeling you get when you're celebrating a holiday together or just enjoying the same local foods. It's also about common values, like believing in fairness and harmony, that act like this social glue, holding our whole diverse community together. And the last part of your profile? Well, this might be the most crucial one, because it's all about action. See, real citizenship is a verb. It's about active participation. And that can look like something small, like helping a neighbor carry their groceries, or it can be bigger, like joining up with community groups to make a real, lasting change. So we've got our players. But you can't have a massive multiplayer game without some rules and a structure to keep everything from falling into chaos, right? Well, that brings us to Act 2, the system administrators. Look, a bustling city, a functioning society, it can't just run on good vibes and people being nice. It needs a formal body, an institution with the real authority to manage the whole system. The roads, the schools, all of it. We call that institution the government. They're the system administrators in our game. So how does this whole system administrator thing work? Well, you can think of it like a machine with 3 giant interlocking gears. First, you've got the blueprint. That's the legislature, the part that actually designs and makes the laws. Then there's the engine, the executive, which puts those laws into action. And finally, you have the umpire, the judiciary, which makes sure everyone plays by the rules fairly. And the whole point of these internal gears turning is to create a real impact that we can all see and feel in our daily lives. They work to keep us safe, they help make sure our economy is stable and we have access to healthcare, and they protect the country's interests on the world stage. Okay, so we've got players who are engaged, and we've got a system to manage the rules. Sounds pretty good, right? Like it should all just work perfectly. Well, this is where the game gets really, really interesting. Welcome to Act 3, the balancing act. Here's the core challenge. What happens when different people want completely different things, but there's only so much money or space or time to go around? A student desperately needs cheaper bus fares to get to class, but a taxi driver needs higher fares just to feed his family. Do we spend the budget on a new hospital for the elderly or a new school for the kids? There are no easy answers here. And it gets even messier. Let's say a decision is made that helps most people, for the greater good. But the cost of that decision is almost never shared equally. Think about it. Building a new subway line is great for the whole city. But what about the folks in that one neighborhood who have to live with the noise and construction for years? The benefit is spread out, but the pain is concentrated right there. This whole problem, this tension, brings us to a really important idea, the trade-off. A trade-off is just the simple, hard reality that, well, you can't have it all. To get one thing you want, you almost always have to give something else up. It's the fundamental rule of any tough decision. All right, let's look at a classic dilemma. Imagine there's a beautiful historic building on a really valuable piece of land. Option A, we tear it down. The gain, a new road, which means less traffic. The trade-off? We lose a piece of our history forever. Okay, what about option B? We preserve it. The gain is we protect our cultural identity. The trade-off? The traffic jams are only going to get worse. So what do you do? So how on earth do governments make these kinds of impossible choices? Well, they need a guide, a kind of administrator's compass. This means having honest leaders who aren't afraid to make tough calls. It means practicing meritocracy, so opportunities go to those who earn them. It means thinking ahead and anticipating change. And maybe most importantly, it means making sure every single person feels like they have a real stake in society's success. This all leads us to the final level of the game. And honestly, it's the most important one. The only way to really win isn't by fighting each other for those limited resources. It's by switching the game to act for co-op mode. The big idea here is all about synergy. The government, it's got the resources, the authority, the big picture view. But the citizens, that's us, the players on the ground, we have the local knowledge, the passion, and the manpower. The absolute best results happen when these two forces stop working separately and start working together. Let's see how this actually works. Take protecting the environment. The government can build recycling plants, but that's useless if we don't actually sort our trash. Or think about helping vulnerable people in our communities. The government can provide financial aid, but it's volunteers, it's citizens who provide that human connection, who check in on an elderly neighbor or donate their time. See? One provides the structure, the other provides the action. They complete each other. And what's really cool is that we as citizens can actually help write the rules of the game. You can think of it like influencing the patch notes for a new update. The government proposes a new policy. Then we give our feedback through public meetings, online discussions, you name it. And based on what they hear from us on the ground, they can tweak and refine that policy to make it better. It's a critical feedback loop. So what's the ultimate prize for playing in co-op mode? It's actually much bigger than just solving a few problems. It's about building what we call social cohesion. That's the real high score we're aiming for. It's a stronger sense of belonging for everyone, a deeper trust in each other and in the system, and a society that can handle whatever challenges come next. So let's pull it all together. A truly thriving society is like a huge, impressive building. It's held up by two essential pillars: a population of active citizens and an effective government. But both of those pillars have to stand on a solid foundation. And that foundation is our ability to manage our differences and work through those tough trade-offs together. And that brings us right back to where we started. After this whole journey, looking at the players, the system, and that tricky balancing act between them, let's ask it again. Whose responsibility is it to make all of this work? The answer is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's our responsibility. Working for the good of society isn't just the government's job, and it's not just on you as an individual. It's a shared mission. It's the co-op game that we all choose to play together every single day. So the only real question left is, what's your next move?